jars. Huge arse.
Huge jars.
Huge arse.
Huge jars.
Huge arse.
Huge ass.
Huge anus.
Huge ass.
And huge arse.
I love you, Hugh.
Greetings and salutations, this is Huge Ass. After yesterday's great observation in the Southern Hemisphere project video, or GOSH for short, I thought I'd go for something a little bit lighter. So I was looking around on the usual Flat Earth channels and had a look at Nathan Oakley's Ballbusters.
Anything new besides that, and then we'll get started. Anything, that just popped up over the past couple days that surprised any of you? No?
Something that surprised anyone of us.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
anything new on the
Concerning
ballpark
what?
front that surprised you?
Yes.
Concerning what?
Concerning the subject of the Earth not being spherical and being obviously and observably flat. Yes. So the Black Swan, I search daily on YouTube to see if anybody's made responses, videos about it, challenging it, etc., etc. And COVID-19 hit, and it started to die off. There was less and less people responding to it because presumably they've got their mind on other things.
Yeah, not quite the light-hearted stuff I was looking for. Nathan, you got it wrong again. People have gone off the Black Swan because they thoroughly debunked it. I think pretty much every major debunker has actually debunked it, and they debunked it definitively. Leave it alone. It's dead.
However, in the last week, it's returned with a vengeance, which is brilliant because people want to now get back into the curve calculator. Now, I appreciate that there's many people on our own side that don't fully understand the extent of how impactful this argument is, but with time they will. But they've come along and they've hoped for an in to beg the question and use the begging the question proof of nothing perspective hijacking curve calculator once again. And it just gets 2-word response from me, Black Swan.
And when Flurfs present the Black Swan picture, it gets a 1-photo response from me, this one. If the other photo is valid, this one, you have to explain why this one works. Here are them both side by side. You can see clearly that something's going on, and it's not always the case. You can't accept one and deny the validity of the other, so you must explain what's going on in both photographs. You can't just hand wave it away by saying it's not a globe.
Yeah, we're going to have some associated, we're not going to discuss the Black Swan directly, but some associated arguments that the Black Swan impacts. It's really funny that, I don't know, they must have blinders on, but when they say that we don't see the geometric horizon or the horizon's refracted, they don't think about the other arguments that they need the geometric horizon to be exactly where it is. You ever notice that? They argue one argument, but forget about that same thing in another argument, and they change that same thing in the other argument.
We call that double think and double speak.
You mean how they
Man.
the
Getting
physicality? You mean they forgot how the physicality of this geometric horizon was supposed to be blocking boats and blocking buildings and things like that? Back in the day, they used to use that calculator to tell us that, to tell us how much physically is being blocked. All of a sudden, it's not physical anymore. All of a sudden, now we're told, "Oh, did you guys forget about optics?" No, we didn't. That's been our argument the entire time, guys. Thanks for catching up. Welcome to Flat Earth.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's pretty funny. Yeah, did you guys forget about optics? No, that's been our argument the whole time.
As Darth Vader might say, the projection is strong in this one. I mean, they basically listed every single point that they've been accused of and turned it around. Classic narcissist syndrome. Anyway, they only got stupider from that point, so I look for something a little lighter. Lo and behold, Phuket Word has put out a video, just what I was looking for. Ah, it's Gigantor!
Hello, Flat Earth researchers, debaters and debunkers.
At last. He uses a different intro when he's not talking about Flat Earth, so he's going to talk some crap about Flat Earth. Looking forward to this.
Yeah, maybe Earth just needed a break.
What now?
It's funny, isn't it? For a long time, a lot of us have been. Hi.
Why don't I doubt that? Do you know that the penalty for that in Thailand, where you live, is death?
Thank you for coming in. Certainly on. Happy Sunday.
Not too happy, I hope, or you'll attract the attention of the police.
And, as all of this goes on, we hear everyone's got a story, right? Everyone's got their own personal issues to deal with everything that's going on. It affects us all personally in some way, and no one person's story is any more tragic or adventurous than anyone else's, no matter what's actually happened in someone's life.
You know, I've cut out an awful lot of waffling from this. It was just incoherent rubbish. But it's starting to make sense now that I've cut it down. I think he's starting to talk about the coronavirus and its effect on people.
Life. It is amazing to hear what other people go through in this existence. You know, what a...
Easy there, Pookie. Sounds like the good stuff's starting to kick in.
There's nothing wrong with, I suppose, the emotional turmoil, the roller coaster ride.
Yeah, roller coaster rides are hilarious.
Now, this doesn't mean to just sit back and do nothing, but it kind of does.
Yeah, that was hilarious. I'm starting to see why he's allowed silly thoughts like Flat Earth to get into his head.
You don't end up in the position of doing nothing by not first trying to do something.
Who's a what now? Do you not realise how easy it is to do nothing? You don't have to do something in order to do nothing. Quite the opposite, in fact.
That we often come to a realisation that our doing can be our undoing sometimes.
Well, yes. Basically, that's summed up in the saying, nothing ventured, nothing gained. You can't do anything without risking it being undone. That's kind of silly. And what's the point of not doing anything? But enough of this incoherent rubbish. Where's the Flat Earth stuff? Come on, get on to the good stuff. The other good stuff.
You know, we can still look beyond that. We could even presuppose that information has been. Well, no, I mean it's out there. It's obvious. Anyone can do their research and find it out. Okay, so you realise there are these kind of technocratic, psychopathic entities behind a lot of what's being publicised at the moment.
I'd go easy on using the word psychopathic if I was you.
But again, if you look beyond that and maybe perhaps go deeper, or again to the unseen, the unknown, the intelligence that if you want to refer to it as God, then fine, or Earth or whatever. You know that we all understand that there is gates of the world and whoever these other pantomime characters are. Then I think we can also gain some solace in the understanding that they are not they are not impervious. They are not unaccountable for their actions and their doings, just like the rest of us, just like every single one of us has issues that we have to deal with, things that really bother us, occupy our minds, whether it's family, friends, culture, where we are, money, whatever it might be, of all these goings on around us, and all the
I know how he feels. What the hell was all that crap? And what's with this constant view of the not very nice looking beach? I think we need something more interesting to look at. From now on, I'm going to replace his video with Corgi pictures.
that we are not thinking.
There's a quote for Wally.
So maybe the Earth with its intelligence.
The what now?
The Earth with its intelligence.
Right, we're back to this. May I remind you again that you get the death penalty for that in Thailand. Yes, I know you're in the UK right now. Still worth remembering.
And personally, I have this notion that, yeah, of course, we are of this earth. It's, you know, the intelligent design that we see around us, the intelligent creation is from the earth.
Right.
So let me get this straight. He's saying the earth created us. In one sense, he's correct. I mean, we're all made of particles that came from the earth, and the earth came from the formation of the solar system, which in turn came from a supernova of a pre-existing sun. But somehow I think he means the earth literally created us.
One of the cruxes of the issue is we're waiting for to be told, to be allowed. And it's the uncertainty that really bothers us, isn't it? And for a lot of us, you know, we look into the future or see what's actually going on. There is this kind of suffering because we want to know why. So, you know, that maybe the earth has a grand plan.
Not much you can say in response to that. On with the stupid.
I demand reasons.
There's that laugh again.
It is all about abandoning the fear, isn't it?
Huh? How the hell did we get onto fear?
So, I mean, we're being brought face to face with this fear, no matter how all of this current situation came about and who might be perceived as being responsible. Maybe the Earth just needed a break.
Not the only one has had a bit of a break, I suspect.
You know, for decades they've been trying to. Our desire to nurture the earth and do good for the earth and not leave a poisonous imprint on the earth has, of course, been somewhat beneficial, but it's also been misdirected by the psychopaths that I wouldn't say are in control, but they are in control of certain things that obviously have strong influence on our culture and our lives.
Quite frankly, the only reason I'm continuing listening to the verbal diarrhea being vomited out of his mouth now is so that I can show you more corgis. He's not making any real sense at all. And for God's sake, Nick, get some wind protection for your mic if you're going to film by the seaside, right?
Yeah, none of us have the answer. That's the thing, isn't it? There is also some solace in that understanding that none of us know. Nobody knows. Nobody's an authority. And, you know, when we surrender to that is you know, that helps because, you know, we're letting go of that drive, the ego's demands for answers and to point the finger of blame or responsibility. I'm rambling.
Oh, hooray! At last he gets something right.
Sorry to blab on.
Mate, an apology is the least you owe us. Quite frankly, that's where I think we're going to have to end it. He continues rambling on, over 20 minutes in total, talking about living sustainably with the earth and birds pooing, mass hysteria and such, but nothing of substance or, more importantly, of interest. Not even a hint of flat earth lunacy for which he's famous for. Imagine that on your tombstone, remembered by all for being a flat-earthed idiot. Anyway, I'm almost out of corgis, and there's only so much of this I can take. Till next time.